There's a lot of negative talk around buying real estate, and there has been for a while. And yes, there are inherently risks associated with it. But listen, if you think buying real estate is too risky, then just remember that there are contingencies. What's a contingency, you ask? It's an event or something that may happen but is not certain to occur, or something that might happen if something else happens. The real estate definition of this is a clause that specifies an action or a requirement that must be met for the contract to be legally binding. A real world example. I want to go to the beach on Sunday, but it's contingent on the weather being nice. This means that as long as the weather is nice, then you're going to go to the beach. If the weather is not nice, then that weather contingency gave you the out, or means that you won't go to the beach because the weather's not nice. In a real estate transaction or contract, there's several contingencies that you can protect yourself with as well. There's an inspection contingency, a financing contingency, an appraisal contingency, a sale of your current property contingency, a title contingency, a homeowners or flood insurance contingency, and an HOA or condo association contingency. I'm going to explain each of these contingencies pretty briefly, and I'm going to be referring to the contingencies as they pertain to the as-is contract, which is most commonly used here. These contingencies allow you to, if a contingent event occurs, terminate the contract and keep your escrow deposit. For the inspection contingency, you and your agent will specify a certain number of days for your inspection period, and during this period, you can cancel the contract for any reason. You don't even technically need to have an inspection done. The contract states that the buyer may cancel at their sole discretion. But the way this contingency should be used is once you get inspections completed, and maybe there are imperfections or defects that you're not comfortable with, you can renegotiate the terms, and/or if the buyer and seller can't come to an agreement during renegotiations, you may terminate the contract. For the financing contingency, you have typically 30 days to be approved for financing. And if you're unable to get approved for that financing, you may terminate the contract. The appraisal contingency specifies that if the home you are purchasing doesn't appraise for at least your purchase price, then you can renegotiate the purchase price or terminate the contract. If you need to sell your current home before you can afford to buy a new home, you can actually submit an offer or a contract that's contingent on your current home's sale. If your home doesn't sell or sell by a specified date, you may terminate the contract. If there are defects on a title search, such as liens or encumbrances, which are claims against a property by a party that is not the owner, and any of these are not curable, then there's a contingency in the contract that allows the buyer to terminate the contract. You can add a homeowners or flood insurance contingency as well to your contract, which means if you're unable to obtain homeowners or flood insurance under a specified amount, then the buyer may terminate the contract. If you're purchasing a home in an HOA or a condo or townhome with a condo association, then you have a contingency that will allow you to terminate the contract in the event there's something in the condo documents that you are not comfortable with. These contingencies can protect you in different ways, but many of these are not defaults on the contract and require paying very close attention to timelines and dates on the contract. This is another reason that buyer's agents are very important, because if they are good at what they do, they're going to work with you to make sure you are as protected as much as possible, and they can provide you with as much peace of mind as they can.